Hey there, beautiful people. It's Dina bringing another daily dose. Today is World Down Syndrome Day. It's March 21st, and all over the world, people are celebrating and raising awareness for and advocating for the rights of individuals with Down syndrome. My daughter Gracie has Down syndrome, so 321, March 21st, represents the 3 copies of chromosome 21. So those individuals that have Down syndrome have an extra copy of 21. So Gracie, although she has, it's called trisomy 21, although that she has trisomy 21, she has a translocation. So her type of Down syndrome is a little bit more rare. And even within that diagnosis, it is very rare. So when we were looking up information after we found out that she had Down syndrome, we really couldn't find that much information out there online. Now, this was 14 years ago, so there might be something more out there now. But at the time, there really wasn't very much information other than she was like one of a million, which really did end up becoming who Gracie was. So I want to just share my journey about that as I celebrate her and as I stand with other moms that are celebrating, raising awareness for, and advocating for their loved one with Down syndrome. I just wanted to share a little bit about how that came about for me, because everything I share on this channel is to empower you, equip you, and just support you in your journey as a special needs mom. So my journey did not start out the way I am now. My journey was definitely a rough road. When I found out that we were going to have another baby, I was 42 and definitely not in a season of my life that I wanted another child. We already had 4. I was in a very busy season of running a very large youth outreach, and I was not in a place to do that. So to say that I was shocked was really an understatement. I was really having a hard time wrestling with the fact that we were going to have another child. But then I was able to finally really wrap my brain around that and say, okay, and really embrace that, and I was getting excited for that. But we chose not to find out anything before birth. I just chose to opt out of all those tests because it really didn't matter to me, and I prayed every day that if God was choosing to bring another child into this world, he obviously had a big plan, and I just prayed. I covered her in prayer every single day that God would bring her into this world and she would captivate the world. That everybody that she would meet, she would bring joy into the world, and that she would change the world. And man, has he done that. So we didn't find out until after birth, and it was actually almost a whole day later because they obviously whisked her away into the NICU. We had no idea what was going on. It was a very traumatic birth. Traumatic first day. The whole situation was not something that we expected, and it caused a lot of pain, and really was not the way we wanted to bring her into the world. So I even share about that and write about that, because if you knew what it was like to have a child like Gracie, I can't imagine the world without them, honestly. But at the time, I didn't know either. And so the doctors, the nurses, everybody has this gloom and doom of like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that this is happening. Even trying to share it with family members, nobody really knew what to say. They weren't excited like everybody else when you have a new baby. Our hospital room wasn't filled with happiness and balloons and celebration. It met with tears. It was met with quiet. Nobody knew what to say. I remember feeling bad for my parents because as a parent myself, when you're watching somebody go through something hard, watching one of your children go through something hard, they didn't know what to say either. And so I could feel their pain, and I was grieving. They were grieving right along with me. And I say grieving, and again, not to say anything negative about Gracie at all, because at the time I didn't know what we were walking into. But there is a grieving. There absolutely is a grieving of letting go of a life that you thought you were going to have. And first of all, I thought I was getting close to retirement. I was not planning on having another child. So there was a grieving of that. I'm now going to be raising a child at 42. But then when you find out that your child has special needs and that you are now going to be caring for that person for the rest of their life, there is a grieving of a life that you will never have. Now, I'm not saying my life is bad by any means. It is so much greater than I ever could possibly imagine. What at one point I thought was a prison, I now call my promised land. And actually what was the biggest challenge became my greatest blessing. And is why I'm here today, why I share all of this on this channel, is because God was able to transform my life in ways I could never have imagined. And I love all my children with all my heart, but Gracie was the one that actually God used to save my life. Now, she also is my biggest challenge, so don't get me wrong, but she's definitely one that has brought so much joy into our lives, and she really is the glue that kind of holds our family together. But I didn't know all that in the very beginning of this. So there was a grieving process that I had to go through. I had to grieve the life that she may never have. And I don't know what God has in store for her, but I know that there are challenges that she's going to face that my other kids aren't going to face. I don't know if she'll ever get married and ever have a child. And there are things that she just doesn't get to experience that other children have. So not only am I grieving my own life and the things that, I wanted to be able to do, I now have to change that. I had to learn how to accept what my life is now and actually embrace it and then really learn to love it, which is what I do now. I absolutely love my life and I love everything that I do. But I had to let go of what I thought it was going to look like. And I had to let go of what I thought Gracie's life was going to look like. And so part of celebrating our family members that have Down syndrome, there's also raising awareness of what the moms go through, the dads go through, the families go through. I guess if my older children were here talking, they would share their experiences too. Everybody's had to walk through something in this journey of being a special needs family. Because I say that because we all have a part in it. We all care for Gracie in some way or another. We all protect her. We're all very protective of her. So it is our journey, my entire family's journey. But it's twofold. We celebrate, we embrace, we want to advocate for, but on the same hand, there's still parts of me that feel sad for her. This does not make her less in any way, shape, or form. She is just one of the most amazing human beings. But there are things that she's going to walk through, or things she is walking through, like even being able to have good quality friendships, being able to do things that other people can do. She's got challenges, so many challenges that we face every single day. So my heart hurts. My mama heart hurts for a lot of the things that she struggles with. She struggles with social skills. She struggles with being able to take care of herself, her personal hygiene and all of that. So there are things that make this journey difficult. But all that being said, I don't think I've ever met another human being that is more forgiving and more loving than Gracie. She is the one human being that has probably seen every side of me, good, bad, ugly, and in between, and still loves me unconditionally. I literally say she's like Jesus with skin on. And so it's still a journey with her, and we still don't know what the future holds for her, but I know that God created her for a purpose, and I know that God brought her because he thought we were the perfect parents for her. And he thought her siblings were the perfect siblings for her. And she is going to captivate the world. She already has done that. And she will change the world. And I believe wholeheartedly that the world's going to be a better place. And the world is a better place because she's in it. But this is why I bring everything I bring on this channel, is to raise awareness and to help you understand, if you're walking through that, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to grieve. It's okay to worry about what your children's future might look like. There's nothing wrong with that. And as we stand and we advocate, we raise awareness for, and we celebrate our family member with Down syndrome, that doesn't mean that mom isn't hurting inside. That doesn't mean that mom isn't wishing, if she could in a minute, take that all away for them. And so I do my best to try not to offend, but I'm also somebody that's real talk. I just say what it is, and I pray that God will bring this message across the right person's path. So as we celebrate World Down Syndrome today, and we celebrate the rights and for them to be seen and heard just like anybody else, there is a uniqueness to them. There is a challenge that at least my daughter has to face. So my mama's heart wants to protect her from the things that might come up against her that will hurt her, where she might not fit in. The world needs to raise awareness, and we need to have inclusion, and we need to make sure that everybody's accepted no matter where they are at in their life or their abilities. But I do understand that even though there are these World Down Syndrome Days and there's National Down Syndrome Day and all of that, she's still going to go through things that are going to hurt her. And so I have to do my best to make sure that she understands how absolutely beautiful and loved she is, that she was created and God has a plan for her, and she is a masterpiece in the eyes of God, and obviously she is in our eyes too. Now, the world might not see her that way all the time, but we do see her that way. So however you choose to celebrate your loved one with Down syndrome, whatever emotions that you've got to go through, whatever things you've gone through, if you are a mama that's gone through this for many, many years, then share it with another mom that's just got the diagnosis. She's scared right now. She doesn't know what to expect, and she feels like she doesn't know if she can handle it. Honestly, out of the people that find out that they're going to have a child with Down syndrome, 85% of those children are aborted. That breaks my heart right there. 85% of those that find out they're going to have a child with Down syndrome before giving birth, those children are aborted. I can't even imagine Gracie not being in this world. But I want you to know that if you have just found this out, it is the very best journey you could possibly ever go on. It is full of twists and turns, and it's like a roller coaster. But it will absolutely bring out the best of you. It will bring out the worst of you, but it will absolutely be the most amazing journey you've ever been on. And I just thank you for your willingness and your bravery and your courage to be one of those moms that stands and fights for your child, that you fight for their right to live. You fight for their ability to be seen and heard in this world. And I'm going to continue to fight for Gracie because she is everything to us. So anyway, thank you so much for letting me share my story. And we just celebrate all the uniqueness and the differences and all the in-betweens of everybody that are beginning to be celebrated today. So remember, the God of the universe loves you, and he loves our kiddos with Down syndrome. And I love you, and I can't wait for us to be back together again. So have an awesome day.